Hey, what's up? How you doing? I am the D.O.C. in the house, Sample King #1. This video is about the MPC 2000. Now, I've worked with a lot of groups over the years, including Melissa Morgan, Gangstar, Tribe Called Quest, Onyx, Chub Rock, just to name a few. And over the years, sampling's become this big thing, where you can sample the choruses, sample pieces of music into the track. You got sample drum sounds. Well, we're going to teach you how to sample, how to use MIDI, how to put your sample into sequences, how to put your sequences into song form, how to hook up your machine, and how to save your data so that you'll have it again for future use. But most importantly, you must use the manual for the MPC 2000 that AKAI has supplied for the machine. It's very important to use the manual along with our instructional video to help you do proper sampling and get proper use of your machine. So look, it's time to get busy. Enough of my talking. Let's do this and hook it up. Now here's the front of our MPC 2000. First, we have our main volume knob. This adjusts the volume of the stereo out and the phones. Next, the record gain knob. This adjusts the level of the sound coming from the record in. And this is our LCD display. Below the display, we have our function keys. These keys execute the functions shown on the very bottom of the display. Next, the numeric pad and mode keys. These keys allow you to directly enter numeric data. And our enter button right there. Next, we have our main screen key. This allows you to return from any page to the main screen. Next to that, our open window key. This displays the pages which allow you to set the details of selected field. That's our digit wheel. And above that, we have our data wheel, which allows you to change the numbers or data of a selected field. Now here's our after key. Normally a note version slide effect is valid when the drum pad is played or when the drum pad performance is recorded in sequence. Then we have our note version slider. This enables you to change the parameters of a preset internal sound source in real time. That's our tap tempo note repeat key. Allows a sequence to play at a set tempo by hitting the key. And below that we have our undo sequence key, which undoes any changes made in sequence. Next to that we have our erase key. This is used to erase data from a selected track. Now this is our cursor key, which allows us to select the field by moving the cursor up and down or left to right. The other two keys we've shown there are step keys, which locate a point in a sequence one step at a time. Next to that is a go to key, which displays the local page. And that's our bar key. These two keys locate the sequence point in bars. It's the record key, overdub, stop, our play, and our play start. And next we have our pad bank key. Then below that we have our full level key. Then the 16 levels key. And we have our drum pads to play back our sounds from. Hitting a pad plays back a sound. On the front of our machine we have our floppy disk drive, used to load, save sound data. The rear view of our MPC2000. First we have our power switch. This is the on and off power switch. Next, the AC in. This is used to connect to a power source. Next we have our SCSI connection. This is a 25-pin SCSI interface. This connects a hard disk drive to load and save data. We have our SMPTE in and out. This is a SMPTE timecode in and out jack used to play and sync with tape. Assignable mix out. This allows you to separate each sound for its own output. Also, digital in and out. This allows you to sample data directly from a CD or DAT tape. We have our MIDI in, 1 and 2, which can be merged. Then we have our MIDI out, A and B, which are independent. Our record in. This is an input jack used for sampling, and it's analog. And then we have our stereo out left and right, and our stereo out for the headphones. Okay, here we have the back of our MPC2000. Let's hook it up. First, make sure your power button is off. The power switch should be off at all times while hooking up to the machine. Next, put your power cable in, make sure we have the right voltage. Now I like to use my SMPTE in and out ports. This is a Pro Edition, so we have SMPTE already on our MPC2000. The in is used to take SMPTE in to our MPC2000 to run it in sync, and the out is used to send SMPTE out to record to tape. Now I use a hard drive, either zip or a jazz drive, to save my data down to and to load from. This is a SCSI port. It requires a 25-pin SCSI cable. Here's our SCSI cable. We line the pins up, and then we push our cable in. Now we screw it down and make sure we have a tight connection. As you can see, we have 2 screws on the outside of it. Make sure your power is off. It's off. Make sure our SCSI connection is tight, so we can load and save information right to our jazz or zip drive. Now a jazz drive can save 1 gig. A zip can save 100 meg. Now 1 zip is like 80 floppy disk, so it's great. You can have a bunch of songs on your disk and just load them right up. Very fast and very efficient. I love it. Now here we have our MIDI section. We have MIDI in 1. We got a MIDI cable. There it is. It's MIDI in 1. And MIDI in 2. You can record MIDI information into our MPC2000. You can use 1 or 2 or even both and merge the MIDI information. Next, we have our MIDI out. MIDI out A and MIDI out B. Which are both independent. It's really great. Now, we also have our record in. Is left and right. You can record a sample in mono, left, or mono right, or stereo. Record left and right. Get your stereo sample recorded into our MPC2000. We can also use digital, which requires just 1 input and 1 output to hear back. digital out. Now you can use digital to record from a separate digital source, like a CD player or a DAT player, or another digital device. That's digital, and the recording left and right is analog. Now next to our recording we have our stereo out, which is left and right. This is used to hear everything played on our MPC 2000. Then we have our headphones that hook up, just in case you just want to hear a little closer and a little clearer. Just get your cable, plug it in where it says phones, put your headset on, and you're ready to get busy. Now, mine's a Pro Edition, as I said before, and we have, as you can see, 1 through 8 assignable mix outs. This is really great. Sometimes when tracking, and you want to track instruments on separate channels, you can put the bass drum in 1, the snare drum in output 2, the hi-hat, let's say, in 3. You might have a bass line you sampled and put that output 4. You could have a dance transition sound, nice weird funky sound, and put that through 5. And whatever else to 6, 7, 8, if you have that many sounds. And here we use a snake, which is color-coded, so we know what's coming out of where and which cable's plugged in where. Well, I think we're ready. This section is about sampling, how to set our pre-record level, how to set it for digital or analog sampling, our threshold level, so that when you get past the threshold, it opens up, we take the sample, and the proper way to get the level up to the maximum point to get the best sample ever. Let's just get busy. Sample, sample, sample. Let's start sampling. Press Shift, Sample, and we have our sample page. Input digital. That can be done from a CD or a DAT player at 44.1. Or we can sample analog through the left and right in on the back of our MPC 2000. The next mode we have on this field is record in on the mono right. That's right. That's stereo. And that's mono left. Next we have monitor on. Now the monitor on, it's either on, which is hearing back or playback from the stereo in. Then we have pre-record level. Now this is 10 milliseconds, which means it'll start recording 10 milliseconds prior to the threshold level, or the setting of the threshold level. Next, we have our time field. Now this time field is how many seconds that we will be sampling. And it's always in terms of seconds, as you can see here. We would turn our data wheel to go that far, or we would punch the numbers in. And my machine is maxed out, so I can do approximately 189.2 seconds worth of sampling. A lot of sample time. Now the next field we have is our threshold level. This is the level we set at so that when the sample coming into our sampler reaches a certain point, it will start sampling at that point. And you can see those two boxes, they move back and forth in the stereo field. They're on the level meter. The further down we go, and the further up we go. If we go way back down, it'll sample once it passes that threshold where those two boxes are. And we have our reset peak. This is a way for us to reset the peak so we can see the loudest or the peak point of our sampling, so it doesn't exceed a certain level. And you see those two grayed out boxes there during recording. Those are the peak levels. So they keep going up. Let's reach the highest point that the sample attains. As you can see we're pointing at right there. during recording. See that? Those are our peak levels. And so we may press our reset just to make sure. Now once we take it in, we're processing, and it's time to name our sample. You can name the sample by turning your data wheel, and then move your cursor to move over to the next letter, and you'll have named your sample. Then press enter to commit. Now we can play our sample pressing that play button there, or we can keep it, or re-entry. Pressing re-entry means that we can re-record the sample. As you can see here, recording starts again. We can either cancel or stop, and recording has already started. We press stop, it's processing, and there we are. We've got our sample. Press keep, we kept the sample, and it goes right back to recording for the next new sample. Okay, now we have our sample. It's time to name our sample, to give it a name so we know what to call it. We're going to name the sample, and then we're going to take our sample and edit it up. That means we're going to take out the piece we don't want. I don't want this piece. I don't want that. I want the piece that's right here. And that's the piece that's going to be my sample. Understand? That's what I'm talking about. You understand? I float like a butterfly, but I sample like a bee. Let's press Shift, Trim, and we can start editing our sample. Here we go. As you can see, on our MPC2000, it draws out our waveform. This is really great. You get to see the waveform of the sample you've just taken. You can see what you're going to keep, and you can see where to start your edit from. You can see our loudest sounds and our soft sounds, our peaks and our lows. Now in the upper left-hand corner, we see sound, where it says sound 001, which is the name of our sample. Next to it, ST in parentheses means stereo. Press parameters, we can see the rate and the size. Now what we want to do here is cut the sample down. We have 0 there. I'm going to punch some numbers in, punch 555, press enter, and as you can see on the left-hand side of our sample, it moved in some. I'm going to turn the digit wheel. See that? I move my digit to that specific range of hundreds. Then I turn the data wheel, and I can move back and forth in the sample range on the sample waveform. See that? I'm moving back and forth there. And I can get it right to where I want to be at, right to where I want the sound to start from. Let's say right there. Now I'll make my cursor, and I can move it to the end. See the cursor moves to the end there? Move my digit wheel, I go to thousandths, and now I move my data wheel on top of the digit wheel, and I can move along the sample waveform from the other end. Get the piece I want there, right to the right piece I want, hit my pad, playback, listening back to it. As you can see, I put the numbers in. It's the end point, and I want to get rid of that end. I press cut. See, I can now discard from the start or the end. Do it, we'll discard it. It's processing, it cuts it off, and it redraws the waveform. So we can see the entire waveform of what we wanted to keep. We got rid of the start time we didn't want it. We deleted the end time we didn't need. And now we have the full waveform of the sample we want to keep. Now the other parameters on this page, look in your book, read about it, understand it. I'm just giving you quick information to get busy with. Let's get busy and loop. Here we go. All right, now we've already got our loop set up. This is a live shot. Let's make it easier for you to comprehend what I do and how to rock this machine. I already have a sample that I've edited. That means I got rid of the top I didn't want, got rid of the end I didn't want, and now I'm going to try to loop it. But first, after naming my sample, I need to put it into a program. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift with one finger, and then press Program, or button number 6 with the other one. See the screen change? Now, it's called New Program. I can change my program. But right here, where it says Sound and it's off, where the cursor's at, I'm going to put the sample I want there. I'm going to turn my data wheel and look for the sample I want. I'm looking for a hi-hat. I think this is it here. Now I'm going to press the sample here. That's the hi-hat I want. Now, that put it in the program. You need to have a program which you use to place your samples on a particular pad. As you can see here, that's pad A13, which this pad is right here. All I do is hit that pad and it comes up. I'll hit this pad next to it. See, nothing's there. That's pad A14, and it says note 55, and the sound, where it says sound, it's off. I will pick a sound to put there. This is the beat that I want to use. Now, I'm going to tap that beat, and next thing I'm going to do is hit this tempo tap key at the same time and in time to that beat. Now the beat is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll hit this 1, 2, 3, 4. Now watch. First thing I'll do is I'm going to go back to main screen. I got a blank sequence. Now, I'm going to hit this beat. As you can see, under the sequence 1, it has a BPM, which says 91.6. Hit the beat again. Now, the idea is to tap in time to that beat so that I can be in time with the beat and get some idea around what the tempo is. Now, here's how I'm going to put that beat inside this sequence. I'm going to press step, and here in the now field, it shows 001.01. That's the first measure, first beat. That's the very first part of the segment, the beginning of the segment. I will now place the sample there. It starts on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I place it on 1. But it's just one bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. This sequence is 2 bars. I'll press my bar button. See how it automatically took me to the second measure and the first beat. I put it there. I hit this button, this pad, and it appears there on the sequence. Now I'll press main screen again. Now I'm going to press play start. Now I'm going to continue to loop it now. I press stop. Now I'm going to move my cursor over. Go to my counting. I'm going to open window. Press open window. Look at that. I have a count metronome. Move my cursor down. I want to hear my metronome when I press play. Now I'm going to press close by pressing that button right there. I'm back where I started. I press play. Hear the metronome? So now I want to get it so my metronome falls in time. I'm going to move my little data wheel here. I think this is where it's supposed to be at. Hear the metronome's in time with the beat now. You must practice to get this right. Experiment with your tempos. Press this to stop. As you can see, it's not that hard to loop, but you've got to practice. Know where your beginning of your sample starts, where it ends, know if it's 1 bar, 2 bars, and set your measure up or your sequence up for that. You just go to here and make sure you put how many bars you want it to be at, and then press enter. Next, we're going to take the samples I've already taken and make a song. Okay, I've looped the sample up. Now, I'm going to put all my samples right the way I want to hear them in my program. First, I'm going to press shift for 1 finger My next finger, I'm going to go to 6, press program. Move my cursor up. You can name the program. Go to open window. I can name my program. Anybody want to name my program? I'm going to move my cursor up here, turn on the data wheel, and you can name the program. For now, I'll leave it the way it is. I'll just call it new again. And then press enter. And I'll press close. Okay. Always name your program so your program goes along with your song. When you save it to disk, it's better that way. Now, I've got a sample here at 816, which is right here, which is a really cute sample, but I want to change it a little bit. I'm going to go here, press F2. See that page there? I pressed F2. I'm in the params. It's a very important page. I love this page. I can fix my samples. Take my cursor, and I'll move to my tuning first. Hit the sample, turn my data wheel. Might want to use it like that. Okay, as you can see, I've got frequencies also here. I can lower the frequency, take out the highs. Did you hear that? Ooh, bassy, bassy. Get it back up here. Oh, that's funky. Now, I'm going to move my cursor down. I'm going to mess with my resonance. Hear that thing go? Back to normal. Add some resonance to the sample. I can also take it, move my cursor over here, change the attack. That means I can cut back on it. Now watch. See that little graph there? See it? It rises up. Or I can go back to here and it's the attack's stronger. I hit it and the attack's better. I move it further out. See? Change your attack of your sample. I can also change the decay of my sample. Let's decay it some. See, I hit it, the attack's still there, but the decay, it decays faster. Now watch. I go back here. It's kind of cool. So look, I think that's the kind of pitch I want. I may want to go to a different. Now, poly means, see it overlaps? I'm going to go to here and go to poly. I'm going to change the overlap. I don't make it just play when I hit it. See the beginning start here? In poly, see they're overlapping each other. They're one behind the other. I go to mono, it only plays one time. I have to hit it once, it plays. I can go to note off, watch this. See, I tap it, it plays. I hold it down, it plays all the way through. That's cute. You can use that all the time for different little tricks. Know your sampler. This machine has a lot of great tricks for you when you're doing tracks. Okay, now, I think I'm going to go right back here. I'm going to press main screen and get back to where we were at here. I got my loop going. I'll press play start. I'm going to go right back here to and press my params. See, now while the beat's going, I can adjust my sample in the program. This is really cool. So I don't want that. I want to get this thing back to mono. Now let me go up to here. I like that. That's funky to me. That's where I wanted at. Now, I'm going to go back to press main screen. Hey, we're still in time. We're still rolling. This is really great. You can check your sample as you roll. Now, I've done other little tricks on my other samples. Watch this. I'm going to press overdub and play. I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to do my hi-hat now. That's cute, huh? Snare. Here's a cute sound. This sound is banging. I love this sound. Bass line. I want a bass drum. See my quantize there? That's my timing. That's the timing I know it's going to work properly for my sample to make it work perfectly in tune and make it really funky. All right, here we go now. I'm going to add a little vocal here. Yeah. That's one sequence. Now we are going to do the song mode. We're going to take this sequence, I'm going to take that sequence, I'm going to get that one, and put this one here, put that one in, put this one over here, put that one there, and just make it do a... That's my song right there. It's my song. Look at that. Wow. Let's do it. Okay, you've seen me take one sequence, I copied it, made multiple sequences, erased some stuff out of it, and kept some samples in it. Now, another thing you must remember, is a little trick, is know about your quantizing. You can either copy a sequence or go to a brand new one and add your BPMs in, but make sure your quantizing is the same. Make sure you're quantized to a resolution that's going to make your project sound right. If you're doing swing beats, you should probably be right there in order to swing the beat properly. If you need to know more about drumming, check out our drum sequencing video, and I'll inform you how to do stuff like today's artist, Timbaland, or anybody like Teddy Riley, so you understand how to sequence properly and make those fat beats at home, or even do club stuff. Now, a lot of club stuff is just your general 16th notes, you know, your dance, your house music, and even your techno. But when you're doing hip hop or other forms of music or just trying to do commercials, you want to make sure that when you're quantizing, use the proper quantizing for the right rhythm. Okay, now back to reality. Let's start putting these sequences into a song form. I'm going to press Shift and then press 1, and we've got our song. Okay, I'm going to go over here, move my cursor over a little bit. I want to insert a sequence here. I'm going to use number 5 here first. That sounds good. I'll go to my next one. I'll start with 4. That sounds good. My next one, I'll start with, let's say 3. I want to do 3 2 times. See this? I can go ahead and repeat. See that? Just watch what I do. This is pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead to 2, and I'll go to 1, and here I want to repeat this a couple times. And that's cool. May want to insert again. Hey, press insert. See that I inserted? See that? It inserted right above it. Check that out. Or I can delete. Press delete. I deleted the one at the bottom. See that? That's awesome. Or I can convert this into a song. You can take the entire sequence and convert it into the song and convert it into one sequence by pressing conversion. This convert button here. See that? I can convert that one song into a sequence, and a sequence 6 if I'd like to. Let me cancel that. Experiment at home. Now watch, I'll just press play. See it? right down the line there. See countdown? Now it's the second time that sequence is played. This is going to be one more time. It's going to play again. It's going to end. See that? The song ended. It's very simple, straightforward. You can even loop your whole song. Get down here, put your loop on, it'll play forever, over and over again. Experiment, but please read the book that AKAI supplied. Yeah, that was pretty good. Well, now we must save this information on some sort of media, a disk, either jazz or a zip disk or a regular floppy disk. It's important to save it. Now we're going to format our disk first. That means get it ready so that we can store information on it. Then we're going to store info on it, which is the save process. Then what I always do, I load it back up to make sure it loads up properly. And that's important because you don't want to go through all what we went through today. When all the time you're going to start doing this thing, you're going to say, wow, I lost the information. Oh, I'm very sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't realize. I didn't know what I was doing. Please help me, please. Don't be mad. Let's get busy. Let's show them how we can save it and people will love you still. Okay, we've done it. We've made a nice little fat beat that we love. Then we're thinking, hey man, I need to save this thing. I want my rapper, I want my singer to come sing it, you know, whatever you're trying to do. I need to get some other stuff going on here. I need to save it so I can play it again when I come back from work. I want to hit this producer here or whatever. So look, you can save to some sort of medium. Floppy, this is good. Floppy, this is right here in the front, right here. Put your disc back in there, you can save the floppy. Or I prefer to save to a zip disk. These discs, you can save, these are like 80 of these. 80 of these and one of these is better. It's called a zip disk. You should get a zip drive, have a zip disk, plug it into your SCSI port in the back of your MPC2000, and you can save tons of information, including all your drums. Or you can buy one from us. It has nothing but drums, horns, bass lines. We've got fat sounds, tons of drums. But we're the sample kings. You'd expect it from us. Well, look, let's get busy. I'm going to go here, press shift, and press disk. SCSI not ready. Well, what do you know? Well, I need to get my da-da-da-da. That's just to show you what's going on. This is my zip drive. I'll plug this in right here. Watch this. Cool. Turn my little wheel. SCSI's ready. Look at that. So I got programs on there. You can go to program, APS, all programs files. You got MIDI files to save MIDI information from your sequence. You can go to Pops, all rather, it's a song called Pops. All is like, you know, all your songs and sequences. That's for loading. I want to save. Let me press save right here, right now. Save. I want to save, let's say, sequence 1. I can press do it and save it to my drive. Now, let's also go down here and move our cursor over. We can press a device. We can roll it back here, and there's our floppy disk. And we can save to floppy. You just press do it, and you're saving. Read your manual. Make sure you format your disk before you use it. Format it, then save your data. And always use the latest software you can get for your MPC2000. You can visit AKAI's website or call us up and we can try and get one for you. In this section, we're going to talk about syncing. How to sync up the MPC2000 with another sequencer or with another drum machine, or sync through SMPTE from tape. We're going to take the master machine and tell it to control the slave machine and tell it, you will follow me everywhere. Where I go, you will go. We will go together. Oh, I like that. That sounds good. Oh, write it down. We will go together. Where you go, I go. Okay, in this section, I'm going to talk about some things I didn't cover. Basically, this video is about sampling. We're the Sample Kings, but I want to explain a few more items here. For one, you press Shift, you press MIDI and press Sync. We can sync our machine up to another drum machine or sequencer. You can press MIDI clock and lock it up to another sequencer. You must read your AKAI manual to understand these functions. This is sync in, and we can send information out also. We can send sync out to tell another drum machine or sequencer when to start. Or we can use SMPTE. Here's SMPTE. We pick a rate for our SMPTE, which the best rate, which is used everywhere else in most of these that I've worked in, is 30. We'd use 30 as our SMPTE. Well, let's say go back to main screen, press play, and it's waiting for time code. That means it's waiting to receive time code. The best thing to do is always set an offset. That means that we would have a certain amount of time that we will allow the MPC60 to receive SMPTE and then start playing from that point. We go to, as you see the now screen, I will now press open window, and I can set it to a start, which is the SMPTE start offset. You can punch in 20 seconds, press enter, and we've got it, a 20-second offset. I can press play, start, and now the MPC60 is waiting to receive a time code, which, as we showed earlier, is in that SMPTE in. You would take a SMPTE from a track that you've recorded SMPTE to, or already has SMPTE on it, and then you would send that signal back into the machine. This is used to run your SMPTE into your machine to run it in sync with your tape. Okay, now I'm going to show you a few more things you need to know sometimes. Sometimes you can't find a sample. You're not too sure what pad you put it on or where it's at. We're going to press Shift, Program, and then we're going to press, you see it says A16? I'm going to press Open Window now. And see, it shows you where each one of those samples I used are and what pad they're on. It's very helpful if you're going to try to find out where I put that sample at, what I did with the sample. Helps out a little bit. You know, that's there. The beat's there. The keyboard's there. Hey, the vocal's there. That 808 drum's there. Really cool. That'll help you out a whole lot. Now, I'm going to go back here to main screen. Another thing, punching in. Sometimes you want to punch in that first part. You want to set where your punching is going to be at. You may say, I want to punch in here or punch in there. I want to punch in, let's say, in the second beat, on the second bar. I want to keep what I have and punch in those parts. Go to turn on. We can turn our punch in. We've got an auto punch in. We just press like overlap slave from here, play record. When that piece comes up, it's going to punch me in. And I'm punched in, I can turn it off. And by punching me in there, it means I can get ready to record from that point on, or overdub from that point on. Also, we can also check out this point here, where we have other. We got the tap timing average, which means if you hit the tap tempo a couple times, it's going to average out what it is. We can also set our display. Press this, turn your jog wheel. See, it gets lighter and it gets darker. That'll help you out a lot. At the main screen. And we also want to show you here in the MIDI section. Whenever you're doing MIDI, there's a MIDI clock, there's a MIDI time code, which is called MTC, and of course it's SMPTE. MTC is a time code like SMPTE. It's not MIDI clock. MIDI clock is the way that machines talk in terms of BPMs. MTC is a time code. Okay? Be aware of that. Also, read the manual. find out more information about other parameters. And sometimes move your cursor around and look, open your window up. It's going to show you some other ideas and help you correctly do your programming. Move it here, let's say. Let's move the loop, open the window up. Let's see where the loop starts from. Change loop if you want to. Understand every parameter. I can be here for days showing you stuff, but now you've got started, get busy.